The entry into Jerusalem begins with Jesus fulfilling the prophecy of Zechariah, and this takes place on Palm Sunday. On this day, the crowds are shouting, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." In this story, the political king is the crowds of people, and the humble king is Jesus. The religious authority says to rebuke them. The cleansing of the temple. This cleansing of the temple is an example of justified anger and reverence for the sacred second commandment, which is that you shall not take the name of God in vain. In this story, we see a strong disconnect between heaven and earth. Heaven is the house of prayer, and earth is the den of thieves. During this time, there are many corruptions, including exchange rates were off, animal sales were not approved by merchants. This brought about a new problem, which was the religious authority against Jesus. The authority of Jesus questioned. Jesus was questioned greatly about his authority. Some questions consisted of if Jesus' origin was from John. Others said, if John was from God, why not Jesus? Jesus ultimately does not tell them his origin of authority. The parable of the two sons is a strong story with a great lesson. There are two sons. The first son says yes, but does no. The second says no, but does yes. Some main messages we take away from this is that it is better to have said yes and done yes. God is merciful to the sinners. And this is another first and last parable. The parable of the tenants, Matthew. There is lots of symbolism in this story. The owner is God, the tenants are the religious authority, servants are the prophets, and the son is Jesus. There are several main messages from this story. The first is that the religious authority rejected God, which makes the parable builders. The religious authority. Jesus is a stone for us. A cornerstone is first laid and then critical for the direction of foundation. Jesus is the foundation of our lives. That's what we get from that. The parable of the wedding feast. The symbolism from this story is that the banquet is the kingdom of God. The king is God. The first says no. These people consisted of Pharisees, chief priests, and the religious authority. The second said yes, consisted of sinners, tax collectors, Gentiles, etc. Symbolism that we see is wedding garments is a conversion and a change. Proper garment is a proper attitude, which means that a change of garment is a change of heart. The main message from the story of the wedding feast is that we must respond yes to God's invitation, and it requires lots of change.